Reporting from Taiwan means looking beyond the top stories. From unexpected connections between Taiwan and India to the people and communities they meet, senior defense reporter Mukesh Kaushik and TaiwanPlus producer Suvam Pal share the stories that have stayed with them and what they hope the future holds for the two countries. Thank you both again for joining me today. Now, Mukesh, as a reporter, obviously you have a very keen sense of observation. You see things that the average person doesn't see. Can you remember when you first arrived in Taiwan, what was something that surprised you?
Taiwanese people surprised me. It was my observation, and I wrote about it also, that their DNA is very different. They don't judge people. They just absorb in themselves. And they have a strong kind of civic sense in their behavior, which is otherwise is missing in many countries, and more particularly in my country. That there is no civic sense, but here I think they have cultivated into their culture how to behave according to law. That was very surprising for me.
You know, it's interesting, as an American, I feel exactly the same way. There's a phrase in Chinese called 公德心, which means like public or civic duty. That's something that was totally new to me when I came to Taiwan as well. Yes. How about you, Suvam?
So a lot of people ask me about, because I lived in China, sometimes they ask, is it like China? But I tell people a couple of things I've noticed is distinctly different in Taiwan if you really compare it with China. This public gongdeshin, that public virtue or civic virtue, that's very important here. In China, I haven't seen that much. The public hygiene and all, Taiwan is really good. I see more Japan. Since I've been to Japan many times, I see more Japanese kind of civic virtue, public virtue here, that sense of, cleanliness, hygiene. And the other thing is also food habit. Although there are a lot of Chinese provincial restaurants here, but I see nowadays most of the Taiwanese cuisine are influenced by the Japanese colonial rule, and it's different. And the other thing is convenience. Convenience is the key. That's where I find a lot of similarities between Japan and Taiwan. In China, it's very expensive. They buy big, expensive gadgets, gizmos, everything. But here in Taiwan, even smallest of the small things, like a cafe, a small little cafe with like 2 tables, 3 tables, they make something like the kawaii culture of Japan, making things cute.
Cute culture, yeah.
Yeah, so that cute culture, so I see that, small is beautiful, they say. I see Taiwan is exactly underlining that thing, small is beautiful.
To an extent, I observed, and you would be laughing at me, that even dogs do not bark here. Have you noticed this?
Well-behaved dogs.
Yeah,
very well-behaved.
Well-behaved dogs, not only this. So I thought that why it is so that dogs are not barking as much, because their owners are not barking at each other, I think.
Oh, maybe. That's actually a great observation.
Yeah. There was a great debate in my country about stray dogs.
Ah, yes.
And one fine morning, I read a story from India that Supreme Court has said that dangerous dogs can be killed. So it was very, scary for me that my Supreme Court is talking like this. And I was in a country which is kind of a dog republic. You are walking around and people are in a pram, and invariably in the pram it may not be a kid.
It might be a dog in that stroller.
Nice dog. So I did a story for my country at that time, that how Taiwanese behave with dogs, how they have controlled the meanness of stray dogs.
And you went to a place that actually takes care of stray dogs.
Yes.
Did you see anything interesting there?
Unfortunately, there was not very good help from them. I was trying to understand in what way they did this miracle. But I could not get the help. But I did talk to many residents here who have seen or witnessed the meanness 2015 or before that, and when Taiwan adopted no-kill policy and how they controlled this meanness. So it was a good story, and in my newspaper, it was the biggest hit.
Really?
Yeah.
What did people write in about the story?
Yes, it got good interaction among the people, that how a country is behaving even with their dogs.
How about you, Suvam? What are some of the really interesting stories that you've covered for Taiwan Plus since you've come to Taiwan?
After I came to Taiwan as a journalist, I felt like there's some cracks or gaps between the Western media coverage of the cross-strait tensions and the domestic coverage of the politics. I was lucky enough to find some interesting stories, which I felt interesting. One was about the world's only Japanese-based Creole language in Taiwan.
Japanese-based Creole language.
Because Creoles, we know most of the Caribbean countries and African countries, or some of the countries in Asia like Papua New Guinea. Even India also has got Creole, which are colonial rulers' language and the local language, mixed language. So it's predominantly based on like either French or Portuguese or English. In Jamaica, you have English Creole.
And this one is a Japanese and
Creole.
Mandarin.
Not Mandarin, Japanese and two Taiwanese indigenous languages, Taiwan and Sejik. So that's very interesting, and it wasn't widely covered. And the documentary which I made for our show Connected at the time was the first of its kind.
And also there was a big response from viewers from Japan, yeah?
Yes, and after that Creole, so these languages spoken in 4 villages in Taiwan, and there are less than 1,000 speakers. So after that documentary became quite viral on YouTube and other media, so a lot of Japanese tourists started flocking to those villages. They started going to those villages to experience.
And so you also have a story that I think is really interesting. You actually found some evidence of India in Taiwan, the world's hottest chili?
Yes, so world's hottest chili is from northeast India. It's called Bhut Jalokia in Assam, and in Nagaland, also another northeastern state. So in a village in Chaoshi, which is also like a onsen hot spring town in Taiwan. Mm-hmm. So there I found a shop where the owner was selling a lot of byproducts of that chili, a lot of the sauce and a lot of other things. And I got to know that he got those seeds from India and he's cultivating that in Taiwan.
In Ilan University, where a professor is working on how microbial fuel is being converted into electricity. Mm-hmm. And
interesting.
For me, it was, it was a pleasant surprise to see that he was working with Indian scholars.
Ah, okay.
And they are helping this professor in changing that sewage water into electricity.
Amazing. Well, I think that one of the biggest ways that India and Taiwan can connect is definitely through technology, through science, research. So finally today, I want to ask for both of you, what is your hope for the future of relations between Taiwan and India moving forward?
I see great prospect. Already I can see a lot of exchanges happening, business and trade and commerce side. But one thing which I really want to see very soon, which has been pending for a long time, is the free trade agreement between India and Taiwan. It's been pending for nearly 10 years. India has been signing a lot of free trade agreements with a lot of countries, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, European Union. So Taiwan is also signing a lot of these FTAs. But between these two countries, I think FTA will definitely kickstart more cooperations, more collaborative efforts, and that will definitely embolden the bilateral relations in future.
I'll put it in different way. That it is not as great as it should have been. Mm-hmm. There are great scope between the two. Mm-hmm. And why it is not being fructified, it is to be seen by both the politicians of the Taiwan also and from India also. Mm. It is the politicians which will make difference. Mm. Not the public. Public is on the receiving end only. Mm. Politicians will do, and I think Taiwanese and Indian politicians should come together more often.
So true change takes resolve on the part of politicians in both countries.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like there's already support amongst the people of the two countries. It seems like things are warming up. And in fact, there are 7,000 Indians in Taiwan already?
Yeah. 10,000 now, I think.
10,000, it's getting there.
Statistically, by the immigration department, it's 7,000. But when I came here first time, like when I arrived in 2022, the population, Indian expat population was less than 5,000. And now
Incredible.
In 4 years, 7,000.
Well, we've been talking with senior reporter Mukesh Kaushik and TaiwanPlus producer Suvam Pal. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Andrew Ryan. We'll see you next time.